good evening, everybody, and welcome to our kitchen. I'm the penguin, and the chef is taking a break. He has been cooking and working and cooking, so I told him, let me handle this one because this is mine anyway. So Penguin drug out her trusty old recipe book the other day, my go-to that I go to for all of my recipes. And I decided, what can we make for Valentine's Day that I think is super special, super romantic, kind of sexy, and very delicious. And I decided we're going to do a molten lava cake for two. Now, depending on your appetite, this may only feed one person, but it's always romantic to share a cake, right? So, a lot of times, again, people are intimidated by some of these things. And a lava cake is nothing to be intimidated by. It's very easy to make, doesn't require a lot of ingredients or a lot of effort, just a little bit of patience. So I'm going to walk you through this and we'll see how this turns out together, okay? Now, I've made this a few times before and you can change it up along the way if you'd like. You know, with my Christmas videos, I've always been a big fan of almond extract. Now, in this lava cake, you can use almond extract, and I have done that before, but I like to stick to the traditional vanilla extract, which is what we're going to do today. Also, I wanted to talk about ramekins a little bit because, a lava cake is made inside a ramekin. So this is my ramekin right here. It's just a 10-ounce ramekin, and I like the shape of this one because if you can see, it's more rounded on the end. But they also I have them too, and I tried to find one to show you, but it's buried up in my cabinets. I have the white round ramekins that are flat on the bottom, and those are okay to use too. You want to use a ramekin that's about 10 ounces. So, also, with my recipe, you can do it two different ways. I'm going to butter my ramekin a little bit, and then I'm going to dust the inside with sugar. If you'd rather, you could dust the inside with cocoa, but I just personally don't like that raw cocoa flavor. So I opt to use the sugar. So what you're going to need for this recipe is you're going to need 3 ounces of cacao. Now, I always buy the Ghirardelli, and you want it to be 70 to 74%. So if you look at my Ghirardelli chocolate right here, it tells you how much percent of cacao is in this one. And all of the packages will tell you. As a matter of fact, hang on just a second. Okay, I wanted to give something to reference by, so I went into my cabinet and I have this open box here. If you see this one, it says it's 100% cacao. So we don't want 100% for this recipe. We want between 70 and 74%. So that's why I'm using the Ghirardelli. It's a little extra bittersweet chocolate. All right, so what we need for that is 3 ounces. So one of these bars is 4 ounces, so we're going to be using 3/4 of that. We're also going to need 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter, plus enough butter just to butter the inside of our ramekin. We're going to need 3 tablespoons of white sugar, plus enough, again, to dust the inside of our ramekin. We're going to need 2 eggs. We need 1 whole egg, and then we need 1 egg that we're just going to use the yolk out of. We're going to use a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Like I said, you can use almond if you want, or you can use half almond, half vanilla. We're going to use 1/8 teaspoon of salt, just a little bit of salt, and 2 tablespoons of flour. Now, optional for what you want to decorate it with, I usually dust it with a little powdered sugar, put a little whipped cream on the top, and maybe a little chocolate shavings. But that's totally up to you. I don't have any good chocolate that I'm going to use tonight, so I'm just going to dust it with the powdered sugar and just give it a splash of whipped cream on the top is probably what I'll do. Now, I've got my oven preheated to 425 degrees. And let's get started, and I'll walk you through these steps. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my ramekin, and I'm going to get it ready. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my butter stick, and I'm just going to rub it all around inside my ramekin, on the sides and the bottom. And my hands are clean. I've washed them, so I'm just going to take my hands and rub all that butter around, make sure it gets good and coated. All right, just like that. Now I'm going to go wash my hands. Okay, now that I've got my hands all washed, I'm going to come in with my sugar. I'm just going to take a little bit of sugar and I'm going to sprinkle it down in here. Just like so. And I'm just going to run it all around the inside of my ramekin. I just want to, if you can see that, sorry. I'm just dusting the inside of my ramekin with all of this sugar. If you can see that, I'm just coating the inside with the sugar. Actually, it's kind of fun, you know. It's fun to play in sugar. Okay, I'm going to dump this. Hang on. I think this is just adorable the way it is. If you can see, it just looks like it's frosted in there. Okay, anyway, enough penguin. I'm going to set that off to the side. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I've got another little ramekin here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 3 tablespoons of butter. So I've got 1, 2, 3. Just going to score this right here. And what I want to do with this butter is I just want to cut it up into like little cubes. We're just going to cut this up and stick it in our extra ramekin here. You can double this recipe. You can triple this recipe. We're trying to watch what we're consuming right now, so we're just making one. And like I said, I think it's kind of romantic to make one and share it between the two of you. All right, hang on, I gotta get a towel. Okay, now I've got the butter all done. You'd think I'd be prepared and have everything I needed, and I thought I did, but we've been making a few things today, and well, I just didn't have everything I needed, so shame, shame on me. Shame, shame on me. Okay. I don't know how many of you like Ghirardelli chocolate, but it's one of my favorites to use in baking and cooking. I like baker's chocolate also, but just something about the Ghirardelli that I really, really like. And, all right. So we're going to use, there's 8 squares in this bar. I'm going to break off 6 of them because that's what we want for this recipe. And then we'll just keep the rest put back. And it's really inexpensive. I mean, this bar of Ghirardelli, I think, cost me about $2.29, $2.39, something like that at Meijer's. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to break this chocolate up, cut it up into pieces. And when I get this all cut up, I'm going to add it into the ramekin with my butter. Now, if you want to do it the more difficult way, and I call it the more difficult way, I do it the lazy way. You can always melt this with your butter over a double boiler. I don't like doing that if I don't have to. I will do it. Some recipes you have to do it. But this one, you don't have to. We can melt this in the microwave. We're just going to microwave this on 30-second increments until it gets all melty and smooth with our butter. So hang on just a minute. And again, I forgot something else. I keep putting you guys on pause, and I apologize for that. I meant to get my bench scraper because I knew I was going to need it. And lo and behold, I didn't remember to grab it. So I had to go back and get it. Next time, guys, next time. Like I said, we've been in the kitchen working a lot today, doing some videos, and probably 3 of those you'll be seeing already. And then I've got another one that's in the works. So, all right. So we have all of our chocolate in here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over to the microwave, and I'm going to microwave it for 30-second increments until it's all nice and smooth. After every 30 seconds, I'm going to take it out and I'm going to stir it around. So as soon as I get this all melted and we get ready for the next step, we'll be back. Okay, if you can see this, here's our chocolate. And this was 1 minute in the microwave. So I'm just giving it a good stir to combine that chocolate and the butter, which I've been stirring it in between. I did 30 seconds, and then I gave it a really good stir, and then I did it for another 30 seconds. So we're just making sure all that butter and chocolate is combined in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this off to the side. So we're going to put this right over here. Whoopsie. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get me another bowl over here. And I'm going to need a couple of eggs. I'm going to set my ramekin out of the way. So I've got a couple of my little bowls here. I need one whole egg, and then I need one egg that's separated because we only need the yolk of a second egg. So I'm going to get this egg good and cracked so I can separate it. Get the white over here. Make sure all that white's out of there. And I'm going to put the yolk right there. All right. Toss that in my garbage bowl. And wipe my hands. Now we're going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar to this bowl right here. Reach over and grab my sugar. So have you guys been having a good week? It's hard to believe the weekend is almost here. And between you and me, I haven't shopped for the chef's anniversary gift yet, nor Valentine's. So hopefully that's on the agenda tomorrow. I was going to go today, but he had other ideas in mind because he wanted to get most of these videos done today, which we still have, I think, 3 videos to do tomorrow. All right, so we're going in with 1, 2, all right, that's 3 tablespoons of sugar going in there. Put that off to the side. Now, to this, I'm going to add 1 egg into my garbage bowl. And I'm going to add my 1 egg yolk. Get that set in there off to the side. Now, I want to add my vanilla extract. And this time, because we are making a molten lava cake, I am going to use my measuring spoons because a lot of times I'll eyeball it. This time I want to be more specific, so I'm going to do a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Get that in there all good. And guess what else I forgot? The salt. Again, I'll be back. Okay, sorry about that. I'd fire me if I were you guys. Fire the penguin. She needs to be fired. Okay, I only have a 1/4 teaspoon measurer, and I only want an 1/8, so I'm going to do a half of my 1/4 teaspoon and put that in there. Okie dokie. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get our arm ready, and we're just going to whisk the bejeezy out of this. And what we want to do is we want to whisk it. Uh-oh, I see a little piece of shell. We don't want that in there. We're going to whisk this vigorously for about 2 minutes. We want to whisk it until it starts to get a little foamy and it turns a little pale. So I'm not going to have you guys have to sit and watch. Well, I can do this, I guess, and I'll just speed it up. No big deal. I just don't want to shake the camera all around. Okay, so this has been about 2 minutes, and if you can see, I don't know if you can see, it's a little foamy in there and a little pale. So I'm going to scrape down my sides. I'm going to put my whisk over in here for just a second. And what I want to do to this now is I want to add 2 tablespoons of flour. So I'm going to get my flour. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of flour. 1 and 2. 2 tablespoons of flour. Get this put up. All right. Now this is something also you can make the batter ahead of time and keep it in the refrigerator. And then when you're ready to bake them, just take the batter and stick it in the ramekins and bake it. You don't have to do it all at once if you're pressed for time. So now we're just going to mix our flour in here until we get it all combined and smooth. These cakes, like I said, they're kind of fun to make. You don't see them very often, like, you know, occasionally in a fancy restaurant you'll see one, or on a cruise ship or an airplane if you're taking a long haul trip, you know, long haul by meaning overseas, you know, that's what I mean by that. So, all right, we've got our flour in there, and I just stirred it just until it's combined. Now what I want to do is I want to take my chocolate, and I'm going to give my chocolate just a little stir. It's still nice and melty. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to, it's a little hot still, so just be careful when you're doing this. I'm going to pour my chocolate into this. Make sure I get it all out of there. Don't want to waste any chocolate, do we, ladies? And men. A lot of men like chocolate too. Get all this chocolate out of here. Oh, it smells so good. And I've been stressing lately, you guys. I don't know about any of you, but this COVID stuff is just getting the best of me. And now, you know, I guess we eat our words because, you know, me and the chef had talked about Indiana not getting a lot of snow. And it's like, now we have snow, now we have frigid temperatures. And between Monday and Tuesday, we're due to get a lot more snow. So I'm not real thrilled about that. I'm like, come on, spring, I'm ready for you now. Okay, so we've got our chocolate in there. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take my spatula, my bigger spatula, and I'm just going to gently stir this around. I don't want to mix it or beat the tar out of it. So I'm not really folding it. You know how some people say, oh, you've got to fold this or fold that. No. We're just gently stirring it around. See if I can switch hands here. I wish I was ambidextrous, but I'm not. I'm right-handed, and I can use my left hand when I have to, but I'm a righty. Let's get this all mixed up. Smells so good. It's all combined. Like I said, it's so easy to make. It's not like you have to drag out the KitchenAid. It's not like you have to drag out your mixer. I mean, yeah, whisking it by hand for a couple of minutes, it makes your arm a little tired, but it also gives a good workout, so I don't mind that because Lord knows I need that. I've been really lazy for the past few months. Okay, now comes the fun part. We've got this all done. We're going to take this. We're going to pour it into our ramekin. And again, I'll say this is a 10-ounce ramekin. If you have 4-ounce ramekins or smaller ones, you can always make this recipe and you can divide it between the two ramekins. You don't have to make a 10-ounce ramekin full. Get all this in here. Yum, 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 yum. I think since the chef's up there snoozing, I don't know, I think I should eat the whole thing by myself. I would never do that. I'm not that cruel. But I might leave a little bit in the bowl for me. Okay, we've got this in now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm not going to pound it down. I'm going to put this in the oven. It's preheated to 425 degrees. And I'm going to cook this between 12 and 14 minutes. Now what we're looking for is the outside edge will get a little puffy. But we want the inside to be just a little bit jiggly. So I'll show you when we're all done. Okay, so here is our cake out of the oven. And it's very hot. So what we're going to do is you want to take a little spatula and just go around the edges just to break the sugar at the top. If you can see what I'm doing here. Just give it a little break. All right. Now, I have a plate right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this plate over the top of this. And then I'm going to invert it back over. So this is going to take both of my hands in that. So I'll be right back. Okay, we've got our cake inverted now. Get this stuff out of my way. Well, I'm going to need a pot holder because that's going to be a little hot. And I'm just going to get my knife under the edge here and lift up on this. And be careful when you do this because, like I said, it's very hot. And I'm going to set this over here. Now, isn't that... See if I can get you guys a close-up without the shadowing. That's what it looks like now in the raw. All right. Now we're going to decorate this up a little bit. Sorry about my arm, guys. Fix the camera a little bit. Okay. Now we're just going to grab us a little powdered sugar. We're just going to give this a nice little pretty dusting of powdered sugar all over. Snowy. Okay, we're going to set that off to the side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a little Ready Whip, and this will melt fast, so you have to have your loved one nearby and ready to eat this. But the reason I'm doing this now is because the chef smelt the cake, so he's standing here.
Yep, I am.
And I found some chocolate in my cabinet. You know me, I always have something. This is sea salt and caramel, actually, but that's okay. It'll work for what I want it for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little of this Ready Whip. Just give a nice little spray over the top like that. And then I'm going to take my grater right here. And I'm just going to grate me a little bit of pieces of chocolate all over that, if you can see that. Little bits of chocolate. Yum, yum, yum. Not too much chocolate because Lord knows it already has chocolate in it. Plenty of chocolate. All right. Just a little bit of chocolate. All right. Get this out of here. Now, hang on just a minute. All right. Now the chef has got his spoon and he's all ready.
Yeah, she forgot the most important thing, the spoon.
I didn't forget the spoon. I want them to be able to see.
Oh, look at all that gooey running out.
Can you see this?
See all the stuff running out of the center of it? Just like hot molten lava.
Let me take a picture real quick. Bring you guys along for the thumbnail. All right. Give it a taste, chef. It's very hot.
It's so good, too. Chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. Oh, my God.
All right, there you have it, ladies. If you want to win your way to your man's heart, make him one of these. I'm videotaping. Chef's trying to feed me a piece. Trust me, I'm going to get a piece.
Chocolate's an aphrodisiac.
If you guys want to win your way to your man's heart, make them one of these molten lava chocolate cakes.
That's good.
I guarantee he's going to love you forever. All right, guys. We will see you in the next video, which will be coming really soon.
Bye-bye,
Bye, guys.